Dun 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 dun. That's all fucking off. None of that was even kind of remotely close to being correct. Ed, what the fuck was? Get hands, work, goddammit. Hey, hi ho, and howdy everybody. My name is Shannon Shook, and welcome to episode number 31, if I am not mistaken, of Katawa Shoujo. So anyways, in the last episode, we went to the we went to the festival. We had a great time. Literally did like nothing except for sit with RIN against the wall and just fucking talk. Or not talk and just sit there. That shit's really fun. I'm sorry, it just is to me. I have very, very few... Motherfucker. Alright. Also, real quickly, before I go into any story times, I want to apologize. I don't know if it's getting picked up at all. It probably isn't, but just in case it is, I have two dogs. I've mentioned this before. One of them is, like, always quiet, and just, like, only ever, like, makes any real noise when there's, like, a noteworthy actual fucking disturbance. But I have another one. I'm almost out of breath. What the fuck? We're good. Okay, and the other one is a yippy little bastard who never shuts the fuck up. So, he's screaming in the other room. It's been like that for hours. I'm going to the brink of insanity, and I'm losing my mind. So just in case you do hear that, I do apologize. I want to kill him too. Anyway. Ignore what I was going to say earlier. That shit's fun. I'm sorry. It is. Yeah. Also, another thing is, you guys were supposed to get new game stuff, sooner. You were supposed to get, Katawa Shoujo sooner, and you were supposed to get things. I was gonna record Halo Combat Evolved. It was great right up until the point where I recorded an hour and a half of it, and all of it fell apart and didn't work, and it was all broken and completely unusable. It wasn't like Battle Block, where it was like, it was just fucked up, but I could still kind of salvage it a little bit, and if you try it hard enough, you could still hear me. Nope, everything was fucked. The whole thing, hour and a half, wasted, fuck my life, everything. Anyway, so we're here in Katawa Shoujo. I don't know when you guys are going to get a new game next. I don't know if it's going to be Halo. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm trying desperately to get Final Fantasy and Mass Effect installed on my fucking Xbox, but they're being a bitch, because the internet's a bitch, and my Xbox is a bitch. It's all bad. Anyway, god damn. Episode 31. Fuck. Breathe. Okay, it's already 8:30, but this morning's class has not yet begun. We were supposed to have physics, but the teacher's nowhere to be seen. Click. Had I known this beforehand, I would have slept in, too. God damn, that scared the shit out of me. This fucking game, man, it's ridiculous. Suddenly, the classroom door slams open, and Muto grunts his morning greeting to us from the doorway. "Ah, you annoying little bastards. Good morning, everyone." Muto looks like he's not slept at all. His stubble, his messier than hair, the normal hair, and the stained dress shirt create a less than favorable impression. I guess he had fun last night at the festival, too. Drunk as fuck, kids. Anyway, excuse my being late. I ran into unexpected problems. I'm usually not one for festivals like this, but I hope you all had a good time. Ah, delicious. After all, these sorts of events are important for you, as they all give you a short reprieve from schoolwork. The class replies with various degrees of enthusiasm, and Muto proceeds to take roll and get started. Right, then, the day's subject is photon particle physics. Sounds cool. I dig it. Before long, I have descended into a comfortable coma-like state along with the rest of the class, letting Muto's rambling speeches pass through one ear and exit the other without leaving a trace. Now, who could tell us the solution to this problem? He's written a rather easy equation on the blackboard. Desperately, he tries to get the class to participate. Nobody? Come on, guys. Nakai, how about you? Unfairly singled out and cornered, I give him an answer. It causes his shaggy features to twist into a genial smile that would scare little children senseless. God damn. Just shit all over the poor guy. Precisely. Good work, Nakai. I'm both disturbed and honored by the fact that he can remember my name only 1 week after I transferred here. From what I've seen, Muto has serious trouble remembering the names of anybody else in the class, and most of them have been here since the first year. The room settles into a dreary mood, students and teachers alike trying to get back on track after the festival. The festival. I want to go to the festival and get the little caramel covered apples. It'll be so good. I'll win a giant teddy bear. I figure last week's music must have been frantic for everyone. Not a minute too soon, the lunch bells ring. Make way, important business. I turn my head just in time to see other people scatter out of the way as someone charges from the far end of the corridor towards the stairwell. It's too late to realize that I'm standing in the middle of a corridor directly in the way of the oncoming human projectile. Is it who I think it is? I can't fucking remember. I haven't played this game, Ren's Rootin' forever. I try to skip back towards the doorway. Unfortunately, the person running towards me dodges in the same direction. In the following fraction of a second, several things come to mind in sequence, yet almost simultaneously. First, I recognize the girl who is on a collision course with me as Emmy. Had a feeling. Second, I realize that it feels somehow very natural to be tackled by Emmy once again. I could almost feel comfortable if not for the reflexive panic and terror. Third, Emmy seems to be carrying a foot-tall stack of papers while running in the hallway. God damn it, girl. She crashes into me. Crash into me. Fuck, I need to listen to that song again. Dave Matthews Band, all up in here. But at least the impact was grazing one on my arm this time. Hey, Grizz. Fuck. Ugh. Owie. Why does this always happen to me? Gee, I wonder. Could it possibly have... Could it possibly have anything to do with you running in the corridor like you were on fire? She whimpers regretfully, looking like a hurt puppy. The sight makes me regret my snappish comment the very instant it emerges from my lips. But I was in a hurry. I can tell. Sorry. Don't worry about it. Emmy wails weakly one last time and rubs her forehead as if to expel the ache while her gaze sweeps over the hallway floor. As she notices her neat stack of papers spread all over the floor in one big mess, she lets out a horrified yelp. Ah! The printouts! Oh, no, what am I gonna do? Teacher will give me hell if they get dirty. They're probably fine. Let's just gather them back up. It won't be a problem. We quickly round up the papers, and Emmy tries to sort the scattered pile in her hands back into the orderly stack it was. Where are you going? Nowhere in particular, I guess. Didn't want to be left alone with Muto in the classroom. I think he's got a hangover. Have you eaten lunch? Not yet, but I'm not really feeling very hungry anyway. She looks at me incredulously, as if doubting my sanity for letting such a thing out of my mouth. You should go to the roof. I promised Rin I would eat lunch with her. I bet she'd like the company. Oh, my lunches with Rin have been remarkably unsuccessful. I know where this conversation is going, and it's hard to not get drawn along, so I have little choice but to play ball. You could choose not to, which would be a fucking loser if you did. Okay, I'll go pick up some bread or something first. And me smiles brightly before saying anything further. No, I'll go and deliver these papers super quick, and then go buy lunch for us. And Rin too, of course. What kind of bread do you like? It's fine, you really don't need to... Don't worry, it's alright. Consider an apology. I'll be back before you know it. That's kind of what I'm worried about. Don't get into another accident. Emmy starts walking down the hall, but since she's still talking to me, she isn't watching where she's going. I won't. Famous last words. She's already jogging down the stairs. She shouts that not-so-reassuring promise back to me. Also, didn't get the answer out of what kind of bread you wanted. I'd like to point that out. Sighing quietly, I start plodding along in her wake, but instead of taking the stairs down, I climb upwards. The stairwell up to the roof is unlit and just as creepy as it was before. Spooky, scary, stairwells and... sends livers... The door squeaks weakly in protest as I push it open. I'm all bouncy for some reason. This is why I was fucking out of breath earlier, I'm sure. Although I was like, fuck. Rin is there too, like Emmy said, lying on her back at the other end of the pebble-covered rooftop for some reason. That sounds uncomfortable. Predicting something unnecessarily strange again, I walk to her slowly as possible. Hello? She sounds very drowsy as she says that, stretching the end of the word with a slurred voice. Despite that, I don't know what just happened to my voice right there. Oh my god, despite that, her eyes are wide open. Oh my god, girl, what are you doing? I look down at her, my shadow overlapping her face. What are you doing? Okay, see? What? Okay, sorry. Rin raises an eyebrow. That's still the most fucking annoying thing that's ever come out of my mouth, and I still do it constantly. I'm so sorry. I thought you had... Oh, shit. I thought you had a heart problem, not an eye problem. She answers, challenging the rationale of my perfectly valid question without even tilting her head to look at me. Rin's smart-ass comments are kind of infuriating. The worst thing about it is I'm not so sure if she's doing it on purpose or not. Alright then, let me rephrase. Why are you lying on your back on the rooftop? She gives a lazy shrug and sniffs dismissively. How could you even ask such a question? I'm trying to experience. People probably don't do this enough. What exactly are you trying to experience here? I can't really tell, but there's probably a reason people don't do whatever it is you're doing. She's playing dodgeball with me again, answering my attempt at small talk with riddles that I don't want to puzzle out. But I don't want to ignore her either. Yeah, but the reason is everyone is too busy with their lives to pay attention to the really important things. Like watching the sky? She tears her gaze away from the sky and finally looks straight at me. The penetrating deepness of her eyes once she focuses them on something is startling. You know, if you were a girl, I could see your panties. If I was a girl, I wouldn't have come this close to anyone who tried to sneak a peek at my panties. I have that much common sense. I wouldn't either, but sometimes it can't be avoided. Like now, for example. To tell you the truth, I don't even really want to peek at your panties, though. Underpants are the soul of a girl. You shouldn't speak at someone else's soul, even if you're not a girl. As a guy, I guess I can understand that. To us, there's some sort of half-mythical object that we can't quite stroke. Yeah, that's exactly how I think of them, too. That's exactly how I think of them, too. What a coincidence. It really is. I'm sorry. Did you have world history in the morning class? I skipped class. To do this? Well, I'm not actually doing what it looks like I'm doing. Or at least I think what I'm doing doesn't look what I look like. But from your perspective, probably, yeah, I skipped class to do this. I guess whatever your reason is, it's as good as any. Giving in to the tired feelings in my legs, I sit down on the roof next to Rin. The pebbles are not the most comfortable bed in the world, but if she can stand it, then I should be able to as well. Again, you know, it just sounds very uncomfortable to me. Like a pillow, at least. Something there to help. What are you waiting for? Try it. I bend my neck backwards, too, to take a look at where she is looking. Clouds. The silvery blue sky dotted by the herds of cloud sheep fills my field of vision entirely. While it's pretty, the view is nothing special, even though the weather is pretty fair. I think it looks nice. I give a shrug, trying my best to imitate the nonchalant manner which Rin seems to have evolved into perfection, and lie down on my back. The stones poke my back through my thin shirt whenever I shift my weight even a little, forcing me to keep still as possible. I try to ignore the discomfort and myself, instead concentrating on the vastness over us. Far above, the summer clouds drift soundlessly across the dome of the sky. Neither of us has anything more to say, thus silence covers the rooftop. The subdued noises of students on their lunch break, cicadas in the trees and traffic, buzzing past the school, are humming pleasantly somewhere in the background. Listen, I had a great time yesterday. Did you? Well, to be honest, no, but it was alright. It was probably the longest time I've ever just sat in one place without doing anything, which is kind of impressive. I try to make it sound... There's someone here. I try to make it sound as convincing as possible. Is that impressive? I think it is. I'm usually too restless to do anything like that. I think I had a good time, too. A cloud passes over. My apologies. Casting a shadow on the school. A chill surges through me from the sudden change of sunlight to shade. I realize that summer is not in its full bloom quite yet. The only measure of time passing is the slow pace of the clouds moving towards the town. Stray beams of golden sunlight leak through the gaps, blinding me for a moment whenever they hit me directly in the eyes. The blue of the sky looks so unreachable. This reminds me of the time I spent in the hospital where I was bored out of my mind on a daily basis. Somehow it didn't matter after a while. I learned to appreciate things other than watching TV and gossiping with people I don't even like. A comprehensive sensation of calmness spreads from my sight to my other senses, finally hitting my brain. An airplane zooms by, leaving two thin contrails in its wake like a pair of chalk lines drawn from one end of the sky to the other. I wonder where it's heading to. Manitoba, obviously. The only place it could possibly... Why did I pick that? I actually do know I picked that because I just watched something that involved being in Manitoba. The low din of the engines carries all the way down to my ears, although it's barely audible over the racket from the quad. It's nice. It's nice, but I don't understand why this is more important than going to class. Isn't it good to do something you like? Every once in a while? Well, of course, but... What are you doing? Emmy has snuck up on us without either noticing and is only a step away from me, holding several packages wrapped in plastic film in her arms. She leans forward and peeks over me, overshadowing my face almost exactly the same way I overshadowed RIN before. I wonder how weird this looks, the two of us lying on our backs on the rooftop. That's what I asked too. I would be more concerned about what you're doing. If I were you, I wouldn't come that close to people who could see your panties. RIN! Emmy's voice is scandalized, but she quickly takes a step backwards, pressing her hands against the front of her skirt so abruptly that the parcels of bread she's carrying fall. I quickly avert my eyes and glance angrily at RIN. She pretends not to see me. So isn't like that. Right? Yeah, right. Definitely. That's, yep, yep. Yeah, boy. Emmy scowls at RIN and crouches down to pick up the packages. She wipes the dust off them and skips lively around me to RIN's other side where she sets herself down. Anyway, here's your bread. Sorry it took a while. That's alright. Thanks for treating me. I pull myself up into a sitting position and gratefully accept the bread Emmy is offering. All three of us ravenously dig into the simple meal. The bread is surprisingly decent and readily fills my stomach. I'm an American. You can't give me a piece of bread and be like, oh, well, here's your lunch. I'm gonna be like, fuck you, I'm gonna need a ham sandwich, large fries, large Dr. Pepper, and, like, a cookie. And then I'll think about seconds. That's a joke. Kind of. Only a little bit. It's depressing. I follow from the corner of my eye to the skill with which RIN handles her bread between her feet. I haven't seen you on the track in a couple days. Oh, right. I figured it was too heavy a routine for me to start with. So you've been doing something else? I've been considering my options. She frowns but doesn't pursue the issue further, for which I'm thankful. Emmy seems pretty headstrong, and I wouldn't really want to be pestered by her about this on a daily basis. I have enough burdens to bear with Shiznay and Misha already. We barely finish the lunch before the bells ring, calling us back to our classrooms. Hey, John. Misha waves at me as soon as I enter and starts talking before I even make my way across the classroom. How was the festival? Did you have some fun? Still somewhat undecided on that. I'd say probably. Why? Just asking. Her eyes glint in a way that tells me she's not just asking. I can't even start to guess her motives, though. It's like she always knows. God damn it. Her fucking, like, sinister ass face all the time. As the well-timed entrance of the English teacher prevents us from talking further, Misha falls back to plan B. I was there all day with Shi-chan. We had a lot of fun. Aren't you supposed to be doing work? Don't worry, everything went really well. I don't reply to that, and she leaves me alone after Shiznei demands her attention. My own attention, on the other hand, is directed out the windows. Now that I look at it from here, through the window and the foliage just outside, the sky seems smaller. Damn. I catch only small glimpses of blue, and everything else is a clutter of noise right in the middle of my field of vision. What experience did RIN want out of staring at the sky? Surely she's done it before. I mean, everyone has. It's no use trying to guess her mind, but if I don't do that, then I have no excuse for not concentrating on the teacher's words. Yeah, you need to have a reason to be fucking up. I look at the scribbles appearing on the blackboard, trying to figure out their meaning with little success. English really is not my favorite subject. All right, then. We have a strong mutual dislike for each other. Dude, English is bad enough when it's your first language. When it's someone else's first language and you're just like, I speak Japanese. And they're like, here's English too. Because for some reason, you need to learn that too. Because fucking English people. Thick, hot suggestive. Afternoon light invades the corridor, making the air feel heavy and lazy. My body feels weighed down by it as I drag 2 doors down the hallway to drag it to. I thought you was like just taking fucking doors with you, all the way to the art classroom. Maybe this is part of the reason I didn't join any clubs before. Afternoons just aren't suited for activity. Oh, would you look at that now? There's all these people there. There's RIN, and there's the guy with missing his ear or something. This is the blind kid that RIN was talking about. There's 2 ladies that I don't know. I knock on the door to the art room and open it. A girl who is possibly... All right. Okay. Yes, maybe? Okay, yes, I'm back. All right, so I had to go run and grab something real quick. I'm gonna need to get to this here in a minute. I need to find a good spot to end. Hello? This is the art club, right? Yep, you interested in joining? Yeah, in fact, I might already have done so, but I guess we'll see. I give her a weak smile, and her own widens a notch, making me feel less nervous. Also, there's no sound right now, and I'm very confused. Great, have a seat then. We'll start when the teacher gets here. Also, absolutely have already forgot. There was sound. I just turned off my fucking headphones. God damn it. Even without scouting the room for a good spot, I quickly walk to the back of the room and settle myself on a free seat apart from everyone else. A few other members are lounging in their seats waiting for the teacher. RIN sits alone in the window seat looking outside. She's the only person here that I know, although a guy I've never really gotten along with from my own class years, too. Yeah, also there's another guy. Who is you, Frank? Nobody else comes to greet me. Maybe introductions are left for later. Yes. So I settle... Fucking words. So I just settle for silent observation as well. One boy in sunglasses... Fucking up. One boy has sunglasses on, an odd sight indoors. Were we not at Yamaku? I bet he's the blind student RIN was talking about. The wait proves to be extremely short.
Yeah, you're gonna see this, son. I've already forgotten what his voice.
Fuck. I really don't remember what his voice was. Noima walks over from the stand behind his desk in three long strides, then gives me a smile and a flamboyant greeting.
Good afternoon, everyone.
That'll have to do.
First things first. Hisao, there is a new member, so everyone get along with him.
He winks at me unsettlingly. All 8 members of the club, including myself, answer his greeting with considerably less enthusiasm. Still, people finally straighten up in their seats and begin to pay attention.
I think some of you still have projects to work on, so please continue with those if you'd like. As for the rest, I was thinking that today we could do some rough studies. How does that sound?
Nobody answers except for some unintelligible murmurs, which Noima apparently interprets as unanimous approval.
Alright then. Everyone not working on other projects, choose a partner and draw a sketch of one another. You should be able to complete this today, but if not, we could continue at another time. And even if you do it again, or even do it again if you find it interesting. Remember to pay attention to lighting and shadow and give it your best.
Pairing up, I feel pretty awkward about it. Hardly knowing anyone here, I wish someone would just ask me to be their partner. People stand up and move their chairs closer together, but nobody comes to me. You're so alone. All by yourself. Pretty soon everyone else is paired off. Friends team up with each other, but I'm left alone. I mean, there is Rin. She's sitting in the furthest corner of the classroom, still staring out the window and seemingly uninterested in taking part in the exercise. Since she's the only one without a partner, I walk to her seat. It's funny how those things work out. I can't see her face because her hair is covering most of it and she's looking away from me. Rin? I call out to her. No response. Hey, you want to partner up? You're the only one I know here. She seems to finally acknowledge my presence, head turning like a robot as she looks to see who's addressing her. Rin doesn't answer, and I don't want to repeat the question either. I'm sure she heard it the first time. Why doesn't she say anything? It can't be such an awful fate to be paired up with me, can it? Nope, just the worst. I'd take death over being paired up with you, so you fucking... Nah. I'm sorry, that was rude. She doesn't look at my face and instead stares directly at my chest and stomach. Oh, okay, why not? Okay, good. Great, I'll go get the stuff for us. Fucking weird. Looking at the equipment Namiya has prepared for today's meeting confuses me. Instead of a graphite or pencils, we are apparently supposed to do ink sketches. I've never done anything like that before. The teacher, however, seems confident in my abilities to adapt to this medium.
Simple. First you do the outlines in ink. You let them dry and then you shade with the diluted ink. This is called India ink. It works like watercolors. If you're uncomfortable with it, use a pen instead of a brush for the outlines.
Got it.
What the fuck?
I'd pick up the pen, water cups, and one pen for me. Paper, nope. What the fuck? Whatever, we got the point across. One brush for Rin and ink for the both of us, then I return to Rin. Grabbing a vacated chair from nearby, I seat myself directly opposite of her. Do you want me to do it with my foot or my mouth? That's fucking very mildly suggestive, and by mildly I mean extremely. I know it's 100% my fault, because my brain is horrible. I'm just saying it's true. What did you just say? She tilts her head down, her brows forming questioning arches if she doesn't understand that I didn't understand the question. I don't mind drawing either way. You look better if I do it with my foot, though. Oh, with your foot, then. It's all the same to you. Nodding in answer, Rin gets up from her seat and kicks off her sandals. In two fluid motions, she picks up the paper sheet and drops it onto the floor, then snatches the brush between her toes, and before sitting on the floor in a weird half-crossed-legged position... Shh, you hear nothing. It's definitely not a soda. Or it is, I don't know. Although, I don't know. What the fuck? Although I've seen her do everything with her feet already, from eating to painting, this display of dexterity is so prodigious that I just stare at her stunned. Rin contemplates her blank paper intently. The sharp tip of her brush hovers over the paper in anticipation. When she raises her head to see if I'm ready, I quickly turn my face away. I'll go first. Make a pose. What kind of pose? It doesn't matter. That's the point. You have to make the sketch to the impression you get, not decide beforehand. I end up just sitting in my chair, my hands hanging limply between my knees. Awkward as fuck. I look at her and she looks at me. For a moment before beginning. Rin stares piercing, but impassive, as if she were trying to absorb a part of me into her own self. I feel like I'm physically shrinking under the pressure of her gaze. I get the feeling that for the first time since we met, Rin is actually looking at me instead of in my general direction. She sketches with confident, bold sweeps of the delicate brush, not caring about the potentially destructive consequences of an accidentally misplaced stroke. Stroke. Sexually and or otherwise. After she's happy with the outline, she stands up to pose for me, stretching her back and legs. This time, she doesn't look at me. Instead, Rin just lets her gaze wander around the room. I'm kind of relieved. It's easier to stare at someone when they aren't staring back at you. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, whatever. Moving on. Even so, I find it hard to get the sketch going. I'm not especially artistically talented, so I'm scared my portrait will turn into something disfigured, especially when compared to my partner's skill. Well, it's definitely what's gonna happen. Fucking goddamn mouse-having bastard. I don't want to... What? I don't want to embarrass myself too badly on the first try. Rin's not helping the process either. She doesn't stand still for even 10 seconds, tilting her head from side to side to judge her drawing, biting at her lower lip, looking unsatisfied, and constantly shuffling around like she was on hot coals. I finally managed to make some headway on my sketch, and with my outline done, we both start inking in the shadow and light. There we go, got it. Namiya passes by and remarks on the beginnings of our sketches.
Very good. Standing figure is easier for a beginner to get a grasp of. Whatever.
I didn't choose the pose. I look at him and then Rin in confusion, but he's already moving on to the next pair, and Rin seems unresponsive, and my headphones are dying. Shit. Come here. Bastard. Fucking charger. Just like when she was painting the mural, Rin has become so engrossed with her own work that it seems she shut me, the classroom, and the entire world itself out from her little sphere of existence. Goddamn hair. Every now and again, she leans backwards, seemingly to get some perspective. Sometimes she bends forward, leaning down until her nose almost touches the paper. This rocking back and forth looks a little silly. Suddenly, Rin proves she hasn't completely drifted off into the world of her own, and she speaks. Are you having fun already? She doesn't raise her eyes from the drawing, which is a good thing. The breaking of the silence sends a jolt of surprise through me as if I'd been electrocuted. I don't know yet. It's kind of hard to say. I can't hear how she replies to my answer because it seems she's suddenly having a private whispered conversation with her sketch. I don't understand how she can draw so well when she has the attention span of a butterfly. As it seems she's lost interest, I go back to work on my own drawing as well. I try to add texture to Rin's hair to somehow grasp the way the golden afternoon sun lights her bright red drizzle of flame and transfer to my paper in the shades of black and gray. Somehow this pen and the bottle of ink seem like such lousy, inadequate tools for the task. Minutes pass, but the sketch doesn't magically look any more like Rin than it did before. Her voice wakes me up from my despair. What about now? Excuse me? Are you having fun already? Why do you keep asking that? Because it's a club, right? Clubs are meant to be fun. You join to have fun. You having fun? Is it that important that I'm having fun? Yes. Okay. I'm having fun. Good. I wonder if I just said that to please her, or if I really meant it. I can't really decide which it was. I don't hate it, though. I can honestly say that much. It's good enough for now. As the allotted time to finish the studies quickly ticks away, I desperately try to improve my awful sketch, but it doesn't seem to get any better. What is this? I don't know what that is, but I like it. As the time... Ooh, we just did this. Nope. I want to start again from scratch, but what would be the point? There's no time for that either.
Okay, everyone, that's it for today. Please turn in the drawings on my desk, and I'll see you all again on Monday.
I mean, it's a good start, my dude. Simple, but I like it. I like the stuff. I'm clicking all over the fucking place. I glance at my portrait. It doesn't look exactly like Rin, but I guess you could say it portrays her. But that might be a bit generous. Like, I could tell who you were trying to. The nose and jaw look hideous. No, it's fine. It looks great. And the shading's terrible. You got the point across. Granted, it's my first attempt at drawing with ink, but it's still pretty bad. It's not bad. She sneaked up behind me while I was lost in thought. Sneaky devil. Damn it, I was hoping I could smuggle the portrait to the teacher without you seeing it. Why? I'm not really happy with it. I just wish I could draw better. You just need some practice. Could you take my drawing to the teacher too? Curious myself as to how the sketch turned out, I peek at the picture. From the way RIN was drawing, it looked like she was really into it. Looking good. I'd fuck him. I'm sorry. Technically kind of a factually inaccurate statement as well. It's just not really my... It's funny to say, though. It's excellent. Somehow the seemingly arbitrary strokes come together to form an image of my face, from the shape of my chin to the messy hair to somewhat gloomy expression. I can't remember. What the fuck is that thing called? You have the one strand of hair that goes flying up. Fucking Yang's got it, and Ruby. What is that called? That has a name. I don't remember what it's called. It's adorable. Maybe not adorable in a dude, but you understand my point. Her sketch blows my mind. You're amazing. Also, this reminds me, something I was kind of calling myself an idiot for. I looked up a walkthrough to help me get through the fucking RIN route because it's such a pain in the ass, and then I remembered I've already played through it, and on my first run through I got everything right. So I already know what the answers I need to pick are because it has a check mark by it. Wow, you're amazing. It's not that amazing, but thank you. I take a closer look at her work. It's still glistening with slowly drying ink. You know, I look kind of grim here. You do look kind of grim. I mean, I agree, but it's also true otherwise, too. Like this you, not the you I made. I do? I think so, at least. Her simple statement makes me feel suddenly more self-conscious. I feel like I need a mirror right now to confirm or debunk RIN. It's kind of a nasty feeling. Maybe it's just her. I kinda hope it's just her. And that I don't look like that sketch to everyone. It's a good sketch, but somehow I get an oppressive feeling from it. I see. Anyway, it looks really good. You really are pretty amazing. Thanks. I'm glad I could draw you. You're a pretty interesting person. You're an interesting person too, but that didn't really help me much. My self-deprecation has no limits today, but RIN ignores it all. I like self-deprecating humor. It gets old really fast to other people, but for me it's funny. Also, I hate it when other people do it. It's one of those things where, like, when I do it, it's great. When other people do it, it makes me sad. I knew that I could never compare, but to see the difference with my own eyes is kind of humbling. See, I tried to make you look like you think a lot, since you did a lot of thinking. And yeah, I might have overdone the fed up with life expression, but cynics are like that, right? I want to retort something snappy, but Nomiya gives us no time to think, ushering us to the door.
Hurry up, you two.
While we've been chatting, the rest of the club has taken their leave. I quickly pick up our drawings and take them to the teacher's desk before hurrying after RIN, who's already left the classroom. She is not in the hallway, to my surprise. I wonder where she managed to run off to in just a few seconds. Would have been nice to talk some more. Well, not that I had much to say, except for maybe get back to her for calling me a cynic. It's surprisingly late. I already got used to school ending up at the same time every day, so I can feel the extra hours in my head and my gut. My growling stomach reminds me that I'm absolutely ravenous. I'm so hungry that I dare to try anything the cafeteria staff has deemed edible. I also have a sandwich and some Doritos here in front of me. Soon, my children. Not that I eat children. I'm so sorry. Her dark eyes takes me back. So, you might not want to hear this. Maybe you do. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Even if it would, you're not leaving me any choice. I'm having my period, and I need some help regarding that. However, I don't feel that our relationship is yet on the level where I would allow you to pull my underwear down in the girls' toilet, even if you offer to. That's also where I'm gonna end it. Fuck. I'm gonna end it with the line, not that I eat children. I'm leaving all this in too, because I need to talk about how fucking stupid that is. What the actual fuck?